I forgot to get out of the car and set this up on a tripod, which I forgot. So here we go. I just wanted a pretty background. The deck. Oh, they're watching me. Okay, so I want to tell you about this beautiful town of Concord. It's a beautiful day in May. Everything's blooming, and I'm going to take you on a little trip through Concord, Massachusetts. The only history you're going to see is the adorableness of the architecture, the homes, the downtown area. So stick with me, and I will be right back. You want to know a little bit about Concord, Massachusetts. Today I'm going to tell you a little overview. Yes, it's a historic town, but it's quite a wonderful suburb. And I filmed on a beautiful spring day in May. So enjoy the ride. I'll be right back. Okay, Concord, Mass. Way back when, in the 16 and 1700s, the Concord River and the Assabet River come together. That's where Concord is. Revolutionary time. Back in 1775, Paul Revere and all his friends fired the shot heard around the world in Concord, Mass. So the Battle of Lexington and Concord was when the British landed in Boston and their armies got together, and the night of April 18th, 1775, they all charged to Concord, 19 miles worth, but they marched to Concord to take the arms that the residents had. And that started the American Revolution. Little freshener from school time. It also has a very rich, not just history, but literary history. It was the hangout of Nathaniel Hawthorne, Louisa May Alcott, Henry David Thoreau, Walden Pond is there. So this literary group was actually centered around Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was the ringleader. All the streets have their names on them. It's very quaint and cute and beautiful, and it's located on Route 2, goes through it, and north-south to the east of Concord is Interstate 95. It's fairly easy to get around if you're a commuter. There's also a commuter rail into Boston. It is, I don't know how long it takes, but probably an hour. Did you also know that the Concord grape came from Concord, Massachusetts? There's a population of about 19,000 in Concord, and almost half of that population has a master's degree. So it's a very smart town. They also have great schools, and the great schools and the pretty town make it very desirable. So the real estate prices are not cheap, and I'll discuss that in a minute. The median household income, $152,000. About double the national average of about $62,000. But what is it like living in Concord? Well, based on this driving tour I just did yesterday, it's beautiful. And of course it's spring, so everything is bright green and the trees are flowering, and it's just, there's not a lot of new construction. So the homes are old and solid and beautiful and well taken care of. Nice place to live, especially if you have children and you want to take advantage of the great schools. So what about jobs? Well, places that are large that employ a lot of people in Concord are Emerson Hospital, which is located right near the junction of Route 128-95, north and south, and east and west Route 2. Great, large amount of people employed there. And Newbury Court, which is a pretty well-known retirement community with independent living, assisted living, memory care, etc. In addition to the strong culture of history, Concord also offers a lot for the residents. There's an orchestra, a concert band, an art galleries, plural, but an art center, a chorus, a theater group, And the Community Arts Center is pretty well known in this area and has a great reputation. I'm going to paraphrase a quote from a resident. It's a great place to live. It's beautiful. It's smart. Also, because the schools are great, it's great for families, and it keeps the real estate prices up and healthy. But if you're anywhere near a foodie, there are no fabulous restaurants. That's what she said. But there are a lot of taverns, and it's extremely casual at these types of restaurants. You'll never run out of things to do. The Minuteman statue, the Minuteman Trail, which you can bike and walk. It goes all the way from Cambridge to Bedford, a little northwest. Yeah, it's quite a trail. Now, we have to give credit where credit is due. And advocates in the town of Concord worked for 20 years to get an old rail, they're calling them the rail trail now, ripped up and made into this wide, long trail. And it's called the Minuteman Trail. And it's fabulous for residents to be able to walk and bike and enjoy the good weather in a very nicely paved path. You can see rollerbladers out, carriages, walkers, bikers, runners. It's a great place to get out of the house in the good weather and enjoy your community. The architecture in Concord is beautiful. There are a few places that are historic monuments. They have converted them to be visitor centers, built in the 1600s. Paul Revere has had a house in Concord, and Paul Revere also had a copper foundry in Canton, Massachusetts. So he got around. All these towns are about 20 miles out of downtown Boston. But anyway, there is a museum to visit, and the Minuteman statue, and Walden Pond. So there's a lot to do, even if you don't live there. Okay, things to do with yourself or your family. Liberty Ride is a 90-minute guided trolley tour. The Orchard House is where Louisa May Alcott lived, and it's that brown building in the latest movie. The Buckman Tavern is a Revolutionary War gathering where you can still go check it out. And the Concord Museum for Art and Americana. It's one of the oldest museums in the country. Now let's talk about home prices. There are presently 19 homes on the market in Concord as of May 2021, and we know the supply is lean right now. 9 of those range between $2 million to over $8 million. 8 of them are between $1 and $2 million, and 2 are priced $599 to $699. So those are clearly fixer-uppers. But based on this tour that I'm showing you, it is a beautiful place. Now I'm showing you right when all the trees are flowering, and it was a beautiful day. It was actually Mother's Day. And so I'm driving through the downtown area, and everyone was out. But by 4 o'clock, it got very quiet. It was a Sunday afternoon. If you enjoyed this little tour of Concord, please give me a thumbs up. And if you have questions, I can be reached in the information below. Thank you for joining me on this tour of Concord, and thanks for watching Boston and the Birds. Have a great day.
Sweet honey, let's take it real soon.